Welcome back. It is 9:39 a.m. This is News and Views moving forward right here on this Monday morning, a day before the public holiday here in South Africa. Tomorrow is June the 16th. It is Youth Day. It is also Youth Month. And of course, we are commemorating the 50th anniversary of the June 16th uprising. So more about that later on in the show and tomorrow as well, so that we can reflect on June the 16th, the uprising on June the 16th. But another issue that is impacting on school children, specifically school girls, and we are going to be looking at South Africa's official rape statistics in schools. To talk to us about it is someone from the Tshegofatso Pule Foundation. That's you, Botlhale Modisane. You are the spokesperson. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit about the foundation, and then we'll get to the heart of the matter.
Thank you so much, and I'm really grateful for the invite. So the foundation was founded in 2021, post Tshegofatso's death in 2020, which was obviously one of those deaths that sparked a huge attention across the world. She was found hanging on a tree when she was 8 months pregnant, and she was only 28 years old by then. So, because of the kind of support system that we had, and because of the kind of attention that this case really had acquired, we were then prompted by the family to start something in her name that would actually give back, in order to have her not to only be remembered by how she, by her gruesome death, but by the good deeds that could come off her name. And ultimately, we just act as a support system for the victims and victims' families.
And you are referring obviously to rape victims. Am I right?
GBVF in general. So it really doesn't matter. It's rape, it's, femicide. It really does not matter, but across everything, but rape being at the core of it.
Okay, so the latest rape statistics reveals a disturbing number of rape cases reported on school premises. What stands out for you the most from these statistics?
I think what stands out for me the most is the fact that, number one, they just keep spiking, and the spike just really beckons the question: is it the fact that now things are being reported, or is it a revelations of information that has been hidden? So, and it also, just begs the question, what is it that we can do, or what if we could actually lay a foundation where students were actually, where they felt safe enough to actually say, I too have been a victim. So the spike in the numbers are very, very disturbing. But also, the fact that right now we're still bickering with the government um, as to whether or not to avail the names and basically the files of the perpetrators. That would make life a whole lot easier, because what school would hire an offender, a perpetrator? It just basically means that each and every single person that is hired, or that we include or invite in our immediate spaces, is like, just really has a great potential of them being an offender or repeat offender. So we do not have access to that kind of information, because the government is protecting perpetrators, and they continue to make it much, much easier for them to get away with these heinous crimes.
The sad reality is that numbers are spiking, and one needs to question whether the society has become that sick, and why is this not being addressed at a deeper level? What are the root causes for these atrocities on young schoolgirls, particularly on school premises? So we need a lot of reflection and insight as a community as to why is this happening, how are we socializing the boys and the men in our homes and in society at large. But having said that, then how serious is the safety crisis facing learners in South African schools today? And is our situation in South Africa unique, or are we finding similar patterns um, in other, in other countries, in other towns throughout the world?
I honestly think that ours is not a unique situation. I think rather what is happening is that now there is some sort of spotlight on what has been happening that has been hidden, or maybe just people finding their inner voices and their inner power to say, I too have gone through this. But generally, what I find is that there's a lot that happens in the schools. We've done so many um, uh, raids when you go to school, and especially local schools, the township schools, and jointly with other organizations, including Soweto Parliament, and as well as SAPS. If I can tell you the amount of um, the amount of weapons, or the fact that people are just dressed in wrong uniform, when you find that our girls are wearing skirts that they can't even bend in, they are extremely small. And when you get to engage in conversations, you find that teachers are complaining to say, you know what, these girls are coming onto us. It doesn't matter when you try to do something, you try to escalate the matter, it falls on deaf ears. And you find students saying that teachers are making moves on us, and it becomes a bit of a tug of war. Now, I'm
Them
not
and us.
going to
It's a
stand here
situation
and
of them
say
and
that,
us.
pardon.
It's a situation of pointing fingers at each other.
It's a point, exactly. Everybody's pointing fingers at each other. However, I'm not going to sit here and say what you're wearing should, be then open a door to you being violated. Teachers know. And remember, right now we've got the young teachers, but as a teacher, you know that you're in a place of authority. However, with the kind of rules that we have right now in schools, especially our township schools, we are found in a position where students have the upper hand and have more authority over teachers, because teachers get beaten up. There's a lot that gets to happen. And however, that also does not mean that when a teacher is younger, whether younger or older, you automatically know that as a teacher you're in a space of authority, and therefore violating or making moves on a student is a crime on its own. So we honestly need to be schooling the teachers. We need to be, I don't know whether we're going to have enough workshops to be able to teach teachers and to be able to teach students. But also, even if there were students that actually went and reported this, you find that in most cases, school heads are very protective, are quick to protect the school's reputation, and therefore cases are swept under the rug. And when you find that students actually have the power, or the courage to be able to go and report those cases, you get to the police station and you're still met with such discouraging words, because you're told no perpetrator, no case. How do you go as a victim, go grab your perpetrator and bring them to the police station before they can open a case for you? Or you're
Okay.
going to get somebody that's going to tell you, yeah, they were going to touch you inappropriately because of the kind of skirt that you're wearing, or how your boobs are exposed, or anything of that sort. But it seems like there's a whole culture, we need a whole cultural paradigm shift. We are becoming a society that is so sick in the heads that nobody's safe.
All right. Let's go for an ad break. When we come back, we'll talk some more. You're focusing on teacher, pupil, teacher dynamics here. What about
Yeah,
pupil on pupil aggression as well? A lot of that is happening too, but we'll look at that right after the ad break.
no problem.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Albeit Lodge, your true home away from home. Albeit is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Albeit has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albeitlodge.co.za.
Tonight, a child in a shack will try to sleep through the cold. No heating, no insulation, just thin walls and a biting cold. African Muslims agencies on the ground, reaching families in informal settlements across South Africa with blankets and winter essentials. Help us spread warmth this winter. For 180 Rand, give a blanket. For 360 Rand, a full winter pack. One gift, one less night in the cold. Africa Muslims Agency. Empowering, educating, inspiring.
At Dynasty Islamic, we believe your financial future should grow with purpose and in line with your values. We specialize in Sharia-compliant financial solutions designed to protect, grow, and preserve your wealth. Whether it's investment planning, risk cover, or structuring your legacy, our approach is rooted in transparency, integrity, and ethical principles. Too often, people invest without knowing if their money aligns with their beliefs. At Dynasty Islamic, we change that, offering you clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Let us help you build a future that's not only financially secure, but spiritually aligned. Dynasty Islamic, where your wealth meets your values. Get in touch with us at info@dynastyislamicfas.co.za, visit www.dynastyislamic.com, or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Welcome back. It is 9:52 a.m. and we are talking about the high statistics, or perhaps statistics not reflecting the true number of rape and sexual abuse, and I guess gender-based violence in the schoolroom or the school, in the classroom. To talk to us about it is Botlhale Modisane, spokesperson for the Tshegofatso Pule Foundation. Welcome back, Botlhale. And you spoke about reporting these issues when you go to the police station. One of the challenges there as well is that there are shortages of rape kits at police stations. And this obviously undermines the actual investigation, does it not?
100%. I'm definitely in full agreement with you on that one. And not only is there a shortage of rape kits, but also you have a GBV desk where there's hardly ever anybody there. So they work in shifts. And if you try and report a case, there are around 12 midnight or at 2 or any other time, then you don't have access to somebody who has been trained to deal with with victims. Therefore, victims are automatically then reduced to secondary victimizations, because then they get to deal with ordinary officers who do not know what steps to follow or how to even comfort or protect the victim. And therefore, then victims are subjected to secondary victimization. But also, not nearly enough. We have clinics that do not even have the facility, or that do not have people that are trained to, for us to be able to just take a victim there and get them to be assisted. If, for instance, I live in Soweto, anything that happens to a victim, as soon as we take them to the police station, they can't take them to the nearest clinic. I live in a circle where all the municipality facilities are just literally grouped in one area, but the police still have to drive all the way to Chris Hanibaragwanath so that they could go to a specific facility that deals with GBV cases. Why can't such facilities be rolled out everywhere where there are healthcare facilities? So it's always
Absolutely.
going to make it so much more harder, that there are no kids, and also we don't have enough people that are trained to deal with such.
Let's wrap up then. My final and most important question would be, how effective are school governing bodies and education departments in responding to allegations of sexual abuse?
I've often found that cases that actually do get the justice that they require are ones that actually get to go on media. So if anything does not reach the social media, the school governing body and the school heads are very quick to sweep it under the rug. And as well as with our government, they only respond to something that has a public outcry, but things that reach them in general literally fall on deaf ears. So we have a very long way to go. And as you mentioned that tomorrow it's going to be, we're celebrating the 50th year where we commemorating for the Soweto uprising. And it's such a shame that we have gone backwards, and we are even in deeper pits than what this country was in the apartheid era. Because at that time, the one thing that we could count on was that every single crime was dealt with. But unfortunately, right now we cannot say the same. So as we go into celebrating tomorrow, it's such a shame. We can only try and change the narrative. We can only try and say, what, wherever we could have a say, to say, what, let's see how we can curb the substance abuse or anything of that sort. Things that could have, a direct impact as to whether or not you become a victim. So yeah, there's a
What do you
long way
believe?
to go.
What do you believe is the reason for the failure? I've been talking about June the 16th. I've been talking about 50 years, the commemoration tomorrow of Youth Day, the Soweto uprising. What do you believe is the reason why, as you phrased it, we seem to have gone backwards rather than forwards? What do you think is the reason for that?
I think that the systems have not been futuristic. Every single thing that has been put by the government is only effective verbally, but not nothing is ever put to action. So therefore, it leaves us in a position where we know that right now the society is mostly ruled by social media. So the narrative is then pushed by whatever culture that has been pushed via the social media, whilst the government looks at their own, whatever they make sure that whatever that stays behind, whatever that is behind their high walls is what is protected, and is what becomes a well-oiled machine, while the country is left in tatters. Nobody really cares about what's happening with the people on the ground. The people that are on top, the people that are of influence, are actually the ones that are letting everything go, which means that we are not led, and everything is just happening haphazardly, and we have no one to cry to. So we only have ourselves to say, what can I do for my own home or for my immediate community? And there's nothing else that we can do outside that.
So basically, you're saying that the government has failed the people. They're only taking care of themselves, and the people are left to them, to their own. I've been talking about
100%.
that all morning from the time I started the show today at 8 o'clock. I have been bemoaning the fact that our government is totally corrupt, and that's the reason why we find ourselves in these situations. But let's leave it there. Botlhale, Modisane, lovely talking to you. Have a great day tomorrow, June the 16th. Celebrate your beautiful youth, and let's hope and pray for a better future for our youth. It is exactly 9:59 a.m. and time for us to take a listen to the Fired Up series by Hafiz Imran Chunara. He is a personal excellence, a mentor and CEO of Africa Muslims Agencies. And as I indicated a little earlier on, that this hour has been brought to you by Africa Muslims Agencies. And the title of the clip today is "You Will Not Value People More Than You Value Yourself."
Soweto, it's time to stand together for justice, peace, and solidarity. Join us for the annual Soweto Walk for Gaza, taking place on Saturday, the 20th of June at 7:30 a.m. The walk will begin at the historic Regina Mundi Church and proceed to the monumentous Dlamini Mosque, bringing together people of all faiths, backgrounds, and communities in a powerful show of unity and support. Bring your family, friends, and fellow residents as we walk together for a common cause. Let your voice be heard and your presence counted. That's the annual Soweto Walk for Gaza, Saturday, the 20th of June at 7:30 in the morning, starting at Regina Mundi Church and ending at Dlamini Mosque. Together we walk, together we stand, together we show solidarity.